Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to be taking this old cup that I got from a piece of storm damaged maple. Gonna turn it into a kind of outdoor rustic chessboard. The first step for that process is going to be to flatten this space. Let's get going. Alright, the first thing we need to do is secure our wood cut off to the workbench really securely. I use some shims to keep it from wobbling. And then I put the rails and we'll use those to use the router sled on. I made sure to make sure it was extra secure, so I screwed the spacer blocks to the rails and then screwed those blocks down to the workbench. Then you gotta make sure the cutoff is secured in position, and then we're ready to start flattening. Quick tip is I use some wax on those rails to help allow that router sled to move back and forth relatively easily. For the bit, I have an old rabbiting bit. It's not quite perfect for flattening slabs, but seems to do the trick. For the adjustments, I do about 1/8 of an inch per pass. I decided it was probably a good idea to put some bumpers on the end so I don't accidentally go off the rails with the sled. Alright, we got the one side nice and flat. You gotta flip her over, do the other side, get it nice and consistent thickness, and hopefully the sandpaper can get rid of this rough edge. If you like what you're seeing so far, please be sure to like and subscribe. Man, that makes a lot of sawdust. For the sanding, I used some 60 grit paper. It still took forever. All right, now I do some layout for the grid. I'm going to put some grooves in there for the checkerboard pattern. I believe it's 8x8. I use a square there to make even spacing for each of the guidelines I'm going to use. All right, to fill that big crack that I have in there, I'm going to use a couple bow ties. This is my first attempt at making bow ties, so fingers crossed. I think a cool thing to add to the workshop would be kind of a jig to make those out with the router. But for now, looks like we'll be doing them by hand. I get the rough outline cut out with the router, and then I'll finish up using the chisel. Had a little bit of a hard time getting those corners nice and square. I think next time a round over on the corner would be a little bit easier. Time to hammer it home. Get it flush using the hand plane. Looks like that could use a sharpening. And I'll use the V-bit to cut the grooves out for the grid. Had some camera issues there, so I had to reenact. But I thought the grid turned out pretty good. A little more sanding. Get that bark off there and finish up the edge. Use the blowtorch to put some burn marks there for the, I guess, the black and white grid pattern. Didn't quite come out perfect like I hoped it would, but I think still looks pretty good. Thanks for watching.